Poor LeBron James. No love on Valentine's Day. The guy who complains about not having good enough teammates and who must be bionic because he never gets injured lost Cleveland's third wheel, Kevin Love, for approximately 6 more weeks because of a knee injury, as the team announced Tuesday along with news that the power forward is undergoing arthroscopic surgery. LeBron was already grumpy about his predicament. He's played almost all of this season without starting shooting guard J.R. Smith and without a good bench, all while watching Golden State burn through the NBA like a stomach virus in nursery school. More importantly, LeBron is 32 and views every season as championship Oregon bust. He started this one by alluding to his chase for Michael Jordan's 6 rings, and now he's in the middle of it fighting nightly just to keep Cavs on top of the Eastern Conference. James has been taking his obvious frustrations out on his GM in Charles Barkley. Which brings us to the obvious question, will Love's injury prompt the Cavaliers to reconsider their stance on trading for Carmelo Anthony? It makes sense in a vacuum, if you believe Anthony is a better player than Love. He is certainly better at creating his own shot and scoring. But that's ignoring the complications surrounding such a deal, and while, just 1 week ago, the Cavs and LeBron vehemently denied that Love is being traded anywhere. First of all, there's Anthony's no-trade clause. That's always the first hurdle, and it could be the only one that matters if Anthony, as Yahoo reported, has decided he's not going to bend to Phil Jackson. Second, a trade like that would be such a dramatic upheaval for Cleveland less than a year after its Big Three finally figured out how to play with each other. Replacing Love with a scorer like Anthony starts a new learning curve, with only 7 weeks between the February 23 deadline and the beginning of the playoffs. Love is scheduled to come back more than 2 weeks before the postseason, and let's face it, the Cavs could get to the finals without Love. They did it 2 years ago with no problem, and it's not like Toronto's acquisition of Serge Ibaka has the Cavs shaking in their Nikes. Cleveland's real test begins June 1 in the NBA Finals. LeBron, of course, is the wild card. Because in Cleveland, what LeBron wants, LeBron usually gets. As the Daily News reported, he was pushing for the Cavs to trade for his good buddy Anthony, even if it meant shipping Love. But Cleveland was unbending in its stance to keeping Love and not take on more salary by acquiring Anthony. Dan Gilbert already has the league's highest payroll, and, according to Forbes, the franchise lost an NBA-high $40 million last season despite winning the championship. This is not to mention that trading Anthony for Love doesn't make sense for the Knicks, who'd land a player who plays the same position as Kristaps Porzingis and hasn't proven himself capable of carrying a winning team. It makes less sense when Love is recovering from knee surgery. If the Knicks decide to deal Anthony by the deadline, they need draft picks for a rebuild, not a lateral move. Boston and Toronto are going to own the Atlantic Division for years to come. The Knicks still own the title for most dysfunctional, while the Cavs' best option remains keeping Kevin Love.